If you can't swallow the silver pride, how can you turn the tide? Hey, what's the word? Welcome to another episode of Sunday Sidecar, the series where we rip off the mask of last week's Tuesday Ukeday drop from yours truly, Uke Brute. This week's episode, the Monster You Hyde. I was going to say the Monster That You Hyde. The Monster You Hyde. Oddly, the working title of this song was Fuck the Police, but apparently there's a very well-known song that already has that title. Why do so many songs have that title? Oh, maybe because all cops are bastards. Jokes aside, I'm very well acquainted with the NWA classic, and Fuck the Police was never the working title for this song, but it was the working motif, the theme of this song. I'm not going to sugarcoat it in any way whatsoever. That's what this song is about. The U in the Monster You Hyde is police forces, cops. The Popo 40. So why did I decide to write a song like this? Well, I mean, do we really need reasons? We get one on the news like every day, but this one came out of a very specific spot and a very specific moment and incident that inspired it. We'll kind of break it down right now, as we do. One night I was sitting there and I actually came up with this pretty much the entire melody. It was kind of working. I just kind of don't remember the exact situation or the context, but I had this down. It kind of came out of nowhere a little bit. Just had that, and I was sitting there just kind of cycling through that over and over again, trying to pin it down, polish it up a little bit, and okay, where do I want to go with the lyrics for this song? And at one point I remember taking a break, and I was just doing some scrolling, some whatever this Twitter or Reddit or whatever, and I came across a very, very, very unnerving, disturbing, brutal, and just kind of inhumane video of a poor man just getting his life beat to death by a gang of police officers. 30, 40 dudes beating the fuck out of this guy. I don't know, I kind of hesitate to mention it. I don't want to leverage or capitalize off this poor soul's demise, and but it applies to stories we read every week, so you can apply it to any number of stories where the police just kind of either beat or killed somebody senseless for no reason at all, which was the case in this incident. And I just remember being unnerved to my core, but sometimes it's that type of raw emotion that drives creation. And art is about empathy, and it is about translating those emotions into something tangible. And then this is what came out of that moment. And that night I actually wrote all four of the verses of this song, each of the verses that ends with the Monster You Hyde, and they just poured out. And I had those four verses and that what is that, I think it's 14 chord progression, if you can root out the flaw deep inside, then it's proof that you're fine. Kind of fucked that up, but anyways, so I had those, and I was just working on that, and I was plowing along on that, and that's all I had for after a while. And I was I didn't really know where to go with it at that point. I had those 4 verses, and for months after that, that's all it was. A lot of so before we move on to that part, I'll lay it down. Some of the parts were, essentially, if you can't root out the flaws deep inside, and it kind of relates to that idea of, like, oh, it's a couple of bad apples. But, as we should all know, the full phrase is a couple of bad apples spoils the bunch. And that's kind of, when we relate to those things that, all cops are bastards, is because the whole bunch is spoiled if you have a couple bad apples in there. And they just don't seem to get that. And so they cover it up, and they draw their thin blue line to protect themselves. And that's, I don't want to spend too much time discussing how much. Let's move on. And so I had those 4 verses, and I think it was like January 2023 where I came up with that, and it wasn't for 6 or 7 months until I was able to come up with something else to kind of complete the song. But kind of backtrack a little bit, and the melody itself, though, it kind of had this haunting feel to it, and I just felt that it was kind of like I don't want to say like a perfect fit, but it's just hard to talk about this because I don't like where the inspiration came from, but especially when it gets into that second half of the 14 chord progression. So we have the first half, and then into the. It just felt like the melody was hiding something. That it kind of starts off with if we can do this, it'll be great. Too bad you're hiding this monster that you really want to let loose. And that's what I felt like the lyrics kind of meshed with that. And then like I said, 6 or 7 months later, it finally clicked where I wanted to go with the rest of the lyrics. And with that, the refrain and the chorus that I came up with, that it just fit together so well. And that's where I even changed, the title from the H-I-D-E to the H-Y-D-E, the Hyde, because, it just kind of, that, you need to rip off your mask. We shouldn't even have to ask. Your Jekyll got busted, your Hyde's just a ruckus. What do you know about justice? It just all came together. So, just satisfied with, how that came out. And the mask here is that, it's the pretense of them being here to protect and serve us, the general public, when it's really not the case. Even SCOTUS has confirmed that they have no obligation to protect and serve the public. What they're really here, don't get me wrong, they do protect and serve, but they protect property, serve capital interests. Fact. And so that's how this song came together. It's just one of those things where, they come out and they definitely look like, cops look like soldiers, and they have, full military gear, and they don't even have to abide by the regular rules of, warfare or conflict, despite looking like, straight up, soldiers. But there's still that pretense, that mask. Unlike, like, you can look at some things and it's like, oh shit, like that's dangerous, stay away, avoid. Like a scorpion, you see that with his pinchers and his tail, and it's like, that motherfucker's out for trouble, or looking for trouble. Like, don't fuck with that motherfucker. Whereas, cops, again, they have this pretense, this mask of this, they're Mr. Jekyll, that everything's fine, I'm here to help you. But really, once you call him out, Mr. Hyde shows up and shit goes AWOL quickly. Not AWOL, shit goes to shit even faster. So that's why you never call the cops. At least not for like petty domestic type of stuff, or not. Moving on. Yeah, so that's kind of like where the song came out, you know, and it's sad. It's just tragic, you know. You just watching that video, it just awful, brutal, inhumane stuff. You even say stuff's inhumane, but it is very human. And we've been doing this shit for 100,000 years, and we'll probably keep doing it for 100,000 years until more of us develop empathy. So that's maybe the takeaway from this song. Just be empathetic, no matter what you are, what your profession is. I do apologize for the sound quality of this video, or the Monster You Hyde video. The Monster You Hyde video. I didn't realize it was that, like, I don't know, just distorted until after it was uploaded, and I listened to it a couple more times, and I was like, oh, and louder. It's like, oh, sorry. Don't really know what the problem was, but I'll try to rectify it to keep it away from future ones. But yeah, that's, the Monster You Hyde. It's sad. It's hard to talk about. And I feel bad for, anyone who has to deal with anything like this. So that's the Monster You Hyde. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed, or at least empathized, if not enjoyed. And check back soon for another ditty from Uke Brute.